Good morning. Welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11, and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. We are going to take a look at some pitching for the 9-game main slate this evening. It is Friday. It is May 3rd. And we do have some interesting spots to take a look at. Just a reminder that this is an initial look at the pitching options. I will get more in depth as the day goes on and hopefully be able to provide members with my pitching pool this evening. And again, as always, this is taking a look at DraftKings since that's where a majority of my action is. When it comes to FanDuel, I trim the pitcher pool down a ton because we don't have to be as creative. So let's get into it. At the top, we get Sonny Gray with arguably the best matchup in baseball, taking on the White Sox. Now, the White Sox have scored a few runs of late. I mean, it's not a lot, but Sonny Gray has a K prop of 5.5, juice on the over. I assume a pretty strong favorite on the slate. Yeah, minus 270. Game total just 7.5. The clear and obvious pay up guy. Dylan Cease is interesting. Obviously has plenty of upside in him. I don't really like picking on Arizona a ton, but I think there's value in Dylan Cease. He's a slight underdog in this matchup. K prop of 6.5. So I think he's definitely a very viable GPP guy. Cash safe wise, it's always just Sonny Gray over Dylan Cease. Brady Singer, probably not going to get there. I just don't really think in this matchup he has enough K upside to warrant 9,100. And I feel like we can get similar production for cheaper, like Tanner Houck, for example. Marcus Stroman, I think he's going to carry some ownership. I'll probably end up there. He has been pretty good in New York so far this season. A couple of rough starts here. It feels like a pretty much a guarantee that he's going to go up a couple runs. So K prop of 5.5 would choose pretty strongly on the over, which is definitely intriguing because he's not really viewed as a K guy. Minus 162 favorite. Game total of just 8. So I actually think Stroman's probably a better play than Cease and Singer. Tanner Bybee, definitely an option for us coming off of an elite performance against a difficult Atlanta offense. Taking on an Angel squad without Mike Trout. He's a minus 175 home favorite. Rocking a K prop of 6.5 with juice on the over. So Bybee might be your SP2 in cash. Should be, I would guess, one of the 3 or 4 highest owned pitchers on this slate. Be interesting to see what kind of projected ownership we show as the morning goes on. Blanco, I'm definitely interested. He's been really solid, just 2 runs allowed in each of his last 3 starts after allowing just 1 hit over his first 2 starts. There's K upside in this matchup. That's the big thing for me. Seattle does offer plenty of K upside. His prop is at 6.5. Juice is on the under. The Houston Bats have kind of woken up the last couple days. He's a minus 112 favorite. Little shocked the game total of 8.5 with Kirby on the mound on the other side. The total feels slightly high. Juice is on the under, though, so I guess that makes sense. Tanner Houck, definitely somebody I'm going to consider. Not some lock-in play. The Twins are kind of rolling offensively. I think they've won 10 or 11 in a row. Houck, slight underdog. Game total just 8. Plenty of K upside, though, for him. K prop is just 5.5 with juice on the over. But we've seen him make 4 starts now where he's had 7+ strikeouts. So I'm very intrigued. He's been ridiculously dominant on the road as well so far. Um, I think he's a great GPP upside play. As much as it pains me to say, I am a Twins fan, but uh, Hulk just has plenty of upside in this spot. Uh, you know, at some point the Minnesota streak is going to come to an end, and it probably comes to an end due to a lot of strikeouts out of nowhere. And Hulk has the K upside. George Kirby, definitely a ton of upside. Um, Houston, somewhat difficult matchup, but they had been struggling. K prop is just 5.5 with juice on the under. That's something to pay attention to. Something I'm gonna have to dig into a little bit more as far as the matchup for him because I think he has upside, but maybe I'm missing something off the top of my head that should force me to pull back a little bit. Not taking Charlie Morton against the Dodgers. I don't know if I want to use Lorenzen against Kansas City. K prop is just 3.5 with juice on the under. That's really interesting because he is lengthened out starting pitcher wise. Like there's no questions about that. Um, he's a slight underdog. Game total is 9, but he's just a slight dog in this matchup with Kansas City. That's one I'm gonna have to dig into a little bit more because that K prop is really intriguing, to be honest. You're getting over 3.5 at plus money. That's something that might pull my attention. Uh, but we'll dig into that as the day goes on as well. Reese Olson, I'm just not going to pick on the Yankees with somebody like Reese Olson. I do think there's K upside for him. I mean, he's not some dominant K guy. K prop of 5.5 with juice on the under, but there's potential lineup combinations for the Yankees that offer some K upside. So I'll kind of pay attention. I'm going to assume that he's not going to make my pool, but I'm going to pay attention and also dig into the matchup a little bit more. The other two guys down here that I'm considering should really be considering these in this matchup. Sears and Weathers. I really need to dig in more. I don't really want to rely on mediocre pitchers, even if they are in strong matchups. Uh, but maybe we find something in our research. Sears is coming off of a horrendous start, but it was against Baltimore. Did shut down the Yankees prior, maybe. Weathers hasn't been great, since his 10K performance, which is going to be an outlier by the end of the season. But maybe there's some upside in the matchup. I don't know. Those are ones that I'd really have to think about and dig into to feel like if they have 20 plus upside. And some people are going to say, but they're only 6 on 6,100. They don't have to get 20 plus. For me, they do. I'm not giving up points just for salary to play a bat that could end up going over 5 tonight. I'm getting as many points as I can from my pitching because it is far more predictable and reliable than hitting is. So I'm just not going to punt a pitcher spot just because it allows me to save a couple K and hope that I only get 12 or 13 out of these guys and feel okay. I still want 20 plus out of my pitchers, each pitcher. So there's my little rant on that. But Slade Ciccone, decent price, has looked really strong in his 2 starts. Saw a 20 pitch increase in his last start. Means I think he should be able to go into the 90s. San Diego, not a super tough matchup, but not an easy one. He is a slight favorite at minus 115. K prop of just 3.5, but juice is on the under, which is a little frustrating. Have to dig into the San Diego K rates against right-handed pitching, but he's looked really good. Definitely somebody in this matchup that has 20 plus upside. He put up 25 in his last start with a loss, so he didn't get the win points. He gets the W in that performance, and he's over 29 fantasy points. So somebody that definitely has the upside we're looking for. Chris Paddock, I'm interested, but I'm not. It's one of those things where I just don't believe Chris Paddock is a very good starting pitcher. Um, a weak matchup, and he struck out 10. This is going to end up being an outlier, I think, similar to that weather situation. Um, but Boston has dealt with enough injuries that maybe the lineup is weakened enough, and some of the other guys are struggling just enough that maybe Paddock can get us to 20 to 25. I'm not expecting 36 from him again this season, so we do have to kind of temper our expectations a little bit. He has been at his best when pitching at home, so that's a big thing to pay attention to. K prop for Paddock is 4.5 juice on the over. Uh, so there we have it. There's that first look at pitching. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on. You get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to get access to our coaches tools, sheets, optimizer, Discord, etc., I'll put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.